The Kings came so close. I mean, as soon as it went to overtime, I was thinking the Kings got this, because when do they not got 3-on-3? Apparently tonight, which is ironic because Dallas before this were like 1-7 in 3-on-3, and we were 6-0. But I'm not really going to blame that on Zatkoff. I'm going to blame that on Gaborik, and you're going to see why none of the goals tonight I'm going to blame on Zatkoff, and in fact going to sing his praises because he kept the team in the game much more than he should have. I was really, really impressed with him tonight. I know I've been super concerned with Jonathan Quick out of our lineup, but I think Budaj and Zatkoff are kind of stepping up their game, and it's really nice to see, especially going into the Christmas break. So we start the period essentially with a power play. It's like 5 minutes in. No, it's not even that, because Jeff Carter scored with 3 minutes and 5 seconds gone in the first period. So we start, literally within the first 2 minutes, a power play, and Jeff Carter scores, and it doesn't count. So technically, Jeff Carter scored 3 times in tonight's game, but he's only going to get credited for 2 of them. This first one showed that Tanner Pearson was in the net, or in the crease, I believe, is the official ruling as to why that will not be counted as a goal. Does Jeff Carter worry about that? No. He comes right back and scores another goal, an actual goal that counted, putting the Kings up 1-0. Now, Jeff Carter's hands are just gorgeous. I don't know anyone who can make that kind of shots that he makes, which is unfortunate, like I said, for the rest of the team, but Jeff Carter does it. And Zatkoff spends basically the rest of the period keeping the LA Kings in it. It was pretty even. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of actual 200-foot game back and forth. But the Kings didn't really let the Stars have a lot of space, and the Stars didn't really let the Kings get a whole bunch of good shots off. So 1-0 end of the first period kind of makes sense, actually. Lehtinen has done a really good job. Unfortunate. So the second period starts with the LA Kings letting in a goal. And I kind of mean that literally. It takes place about 53 seconds in. It's a shot that I don't even know if Jonathan Quick would have been able to stop it. It is perfectly placed to just kind of skim right in Zatkoff's antimatter zone or something. It was a really good shot, and the Stars really deserved at that point to tie it up with something like that. Like I said, not going to blame that goal on Zatkoff at all. He had good positioning. It just went in the wrong place for him to be able to defend it. So that sucked. And the rest of the period kind of had a lot of dangerous shots like that, but Zatkoff was coming up big. Unfortunately, at the other end of the net, so was Lehtinen. And it was a pretty killer display of goaltending the whole second period. You're not going to see anything happen on the scoreboard. You're going to see a couple of penalties. But it was more the feeling and the pace of the game. There were more quality shots getting through, and it just seemed a lot tenser. It seemed like there was a lot more going on in the second period than you can really talk about, because there's not a whole great highlight reel. It was really tense. So we get to the third period, and it only takes about 3 minutes for the Stars to score their second goal and break the tie. Again, I am not going to blame this on Zatkoff. He made an incredible save. Dives over, gets the leg pad out. It's this close to being through his pads, but no, he makes it, but he's down on the ground, and the rebound kicks out, and even with Alec Martinez literally standing in the net, he doesn't have the goalie pads or the beef or muscle or anything, and it again slides through in that sweet spot, or it sails through top shelf in that sweet spot, and the Stars are up 2-1. Drew Doughty is basically single-handedly trying to save the game himself. He was incredible tonight. Jeff Carter was kind of doing the same thing. You had Tanner Pearson stepping up. Setaguchi was making some awesome plays, and Setaguchi actually is the one who is going to get the primary assist on Carter's second goal, because Carter is the only one that could score, and he scores twice/3 times. So the second goal comes with just enough time in the third period. They're like, oh, the Kings can maybe do this in regulation. It's Carter gaining the neutral zone completely on his own, realized that the Stars are actually going to come behind him, and he wanted a clean shot, so he slips it back to Setaguchi, who takes the initial, and then Jeff Carter's there again to bang in that rebound right there on the side. Kind of a textbook play, but something that you see Jeff Carter doing really well, and perhaps someone who's not as swift or slick or, I don't know, finessing on the puck might not have been able to get that, but Carter does, and we're tied at 2. Oh, so it's a good, 10 minutes of, oh my gosh, we're going to make it to overtime. Is someone going to kind of break through? And Zatkov's like, no, none shall pass. Unfortunately, Lettinen is there at the other side doing the exact same thing. So after a couple of penalties, some of which may or may not have, actually been penalties. Dowd got a penalty in the first period, I think, that was the Dallas Stars player tripping up his own player, and Dowd got called for it, and Kopitar got called in the third period for holding, and he was like, dude, I'm pretty sure he was holding me too, so what's the deal? Whatever, we make it to overtime, tied, and this is where the Kings excel. Except Gaborik, who has not quite been up to the standard that you would really want this road trip. I'm actually starting to understand why Sutter had him as a healthy scratch, and I'm not sure that's going to be the first time this season that Gaborik is a healthy scratch, because Carter makes a shot at the Dallas Stars, and can't quite make the shot he wants because the defense is there, and then that causes not a turnover per se, but the puck ends up with the Stars, and they come down, and Gaborik's kind of back there, but he's not able to stop the pass. He needs to be able to stop passing lanes, especially if you're 3-on-3. You need to know how to do defense like that. And gets it to a completely open player who I could have made that shot. Well, no, because I would be a terrible hockey player. But, for someone who was at the NHL level, it was not hard for him to make that shot, especially with so few players on the ice to actually crowd in front of Zatkov. He has much more space on the ice to be able to do it, and he does. And sure enough, the Kings fall 3-2 to Dallas. Like the Boston game where they lost 1-0, I don't think the score was entirely fair. I was happy that they did manage to at least earn 1 point, because I think they definitely deserved that. And Zatkov deserved to be able to get a win. Really disappointing more for him than anyone else that Carter is the only one on our team that seems to be able to score anything. So, well, Carter, I thank you for all of your hard work. If other people on the team could kind of step it up, that'd be awesome. So until our next game, we are off for the Christmas break. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone. And here's hoping that we can have a great season next year. And maybe another Stanley Cup for Christmas? That's what I'm asking for Christmas. I know it can't come until June, but that's going to be my Christmas wish. So